She was once an aristocratic young lady raised on a grand estate, but after resisting German imperialism, she was imprisoned by the Nazis and brutally tortured.
You have been here more than 2 weeks. The captain has gone very easy on you, because he's a gentleman. But I am not a gentleman.
And this series is adapted from Danielle Steele's novel of the same name, The Ring. It is a family saga set against the backdrop of World War II, blending love, betrayal, war, trauma, and the redemption of fate. The story begins in 1934. Cassandra, the young wife of a banker, falls in love with a Jewish painter behind her husband's back. But just as the two lovers are lost in each other, several Gestapo officers force their way through the door. Clearly, they have come to arrest a Jewish man. Seeing her lover about to be taken away, Cassandra tries to step forward and stop them, only to be humiliated as well. The situation suddenly spirals out of control. The Jewish painter struggles free, but just as he runs toward the woman he loves, a Gestapo officer behind him shoots him dead. The next day at noon, Cassandra's 2 children come home from school. Then her daughter goes upstairs to call for her mother, but receives no answer. When she opens the bathroom door, she sees her mother lying motionless in the bathtub. The girl goes over to check, but sadly, her mother has already lost her life. Perhaps she was trapped by love. Otherwise, there is no explanation that could make sense of why Cassandra chose to end her life. The funeral that follows is also very simple, with only one friend of the banker attending.
Thank you for coming, Max.
I know how much you loved your wife.
Those words seem to stab right into the man's heart. After all, his wife had done something that betrayed their marriage. That night, the banker takes out his wife's keepsake, a ring set with an emerald. Then he calls his daughter Ariana over as well, because this ring has been worn by the women of the family for generations. Her father tells his daughter to keep it safe so it can continue to be passed down. But at this moment, afraid she might lose it, he does not give it to her right away, deciding instead to hand it to her when she is older.
I miss her, Papa. I loved her so much.
So did I.
Soon, 10 years pass. As war breaks out, many aristocrats still do not forget to attend romantic balls, and it is at this time that Ariana meets the young and promising Captain Tripp. The man's eyes are deep and mesmerizing, leaving the graceful young woman completely captivated. She is even invited by him to dance the first dance of the evening. This brings the two of them closer. As the music suddenly stops, the staff sweep the spotlight onto the stage. A figure who terrifies Jewish people appears. At the same time, the crowd below erupts into passionate slogans. The scene shifts, and cleansing operations are being organized across the streets. One of the banker's friends sees his wife hanged on the spot as a warning to others. This leaves the husband in unbearable pain. Luckily, the companion beside him pulls him into the shadows, so the German soldiers do not discover him. After that, the man goes to his friend's home, asks Ariana and her brother for help, and tells them the truth about his wife's murder.
We were to leave soon. Your father arranged those papers for us.
Papa.
He was always so good to me.
To help Max avoid being implicated, Ariana decides to send him to the train station overnight, even using her father's private car. But neither of them realizes that every move they make has been spotted by the housekeeper on the second floor. Soon, they arrive at the train station heading for Switzerland. Before he leaves, Ariana gives him a painting. It is a keepsake from her mother, painted by a very famous Jewish artist. She hopes that if he ever needs money, he can sell the painting. In the end, the man successfully boards the train. No one knows whether they will ever have the chance to meet again in this lifetime. But unexpectedly, on the girl's way back home, she is discovered by German soldiers on duty. After midnight, no one is allowed on the streets. Clearly, they have broken the rules. Even though the siblings are German, that does not matter. So Ariana can only say her father's name, because her father is the vice president of a bank. The soldiers do not make things too difficult for them, but they still become suspicious. After returning home, Ariana tells her father what happened. Not only does her father not blame the two of them, he actually supports what they did, because he opposes the war and has seen how cruelly Jewish people are harmed. So he does not want his son to join the army next month. He wants to finish arranging his work, then take his 2 children away from Germany to Switzerland or America. The siblings agree with their father's plan, but what they do not know is that every word has been heard by the housekeeper, and because of this, things become extremely bad. The next morning, while the family is having breakfast, an uninvited guest comes to the door. He is a Gestapo captain, and he wants to ask about the escape of a resistance member yesterday. According to reliable information, someone saw his 2 children using a car last night during restricted hours. They suspect that Ariana and her younger brother helped that person escape.
Just a party. Then you couldn't have had anything to do with the disappearance of Max Thomas, could you?
No, sir.
You're quite certain. And they don't lie.
The situation begins to change dramatically. The family never imagined suspicion would fall on them so quickly, so to avoid disaster, the father decides to flee with his family immediately, but Ariana chooses to stay behind for now. That way, if the German soldiers come back, they will not suspect anything, and once it is safe the next day, she can cross the border and reunite with her family. Her father also thinks this is reasonable, so he takes out some cash, along with the ring he had promised to give Ariana. After a heartfelt goodbye between father and daughter, the father and his son Gerhard set off on their journey, and this farewell means they will never see each other again. That very night, the Gestapo break through the door. The girl tries to ask the housekeeper for help, but she has no idea that all of this is the woman's doing. By the time Ariana realizes something is wrong, it is already too late. Meanwhile, the father and son arrive near the Swiss border. As long as they walk another 14 kilometers, they will be able to cross the line safely. Although they run into a few small problems, they manage to escape danger. After traveling through the night, they finally reach Swiss territory. After the father and son eat and drink their fill at a restaurant, the father leaves Gerhard enough money, because he still has to return across the border to pick up his daughter. But this time, the older man is not so lucky. While trying to climb over the barrier, his clothes get caught on the wire, leaving him unable to move. At the same time, a patrol searchlight in the distance seems to spot him. After the old man stubbornly frees himself, the patrol car is already right in front of him. The situation turns sharply against him. The soldiers find 2 sets of documents on him. One is a Berlin identity paper, and the other is a Swiss document. They suspect he is a spy between the 2 countries. Before the old man can explain, a soldier raises his gun and shoots him dead. Then the soldier fires one more shot into his body. All his beautiful hopes turn to dust in this moment. Meanwhile, Ariana is also suffering the disaster of her life. She is first locked in prison, then taken to an officer's office for interrogation, but Ariana knows nothing about it, and she does not want to reveal where her father has gone. The officer does not torture her, perhaps because Ariana is also fully German, but the officer's subordinate is not so easy to reason with. No matter how the woman pleads, this deranged German officer still viciously lashes Ariana, a fellow German, 5 times with a whip. The handsome captain before her has only met Ariana once, yet he has left a mark in both their hearts that cannot be erased. The woman thinks the captain will take her away, but in truth, the situation is not appropriate. Then an officer informs Ariana that her father has committed treason. The situation is complicated, but for now, it is outside his jurisdiction. In reality, this is only the official explanation. Ariana has been transferred to another area.
You know, you're fortunate you have friends in high places.
So the woman returns to her own home. Sadly, the house has now been taken over by a higher-ranking officer. The general once had some connection with Ariana's banker father, but no matter what, he will not save the child of a guilty man. At the same time, the former housekeeper is still working there. Ariana ignores her completely, because it was this old woman who destroyed her entire family. Then Ariana comes downstairs with her luggage and sees the captain waiting for her. Even now, the woman still does not know that her rescue from the prison of death was all because Tripp quietly helped her behind the scenes. As for where she is being taken now, Tripp does not tell her right away. He brings her to a mysterious place. Before her stands a huge villa. The woman is brought inside by the captain. She feels both surprised and curious. She is clearly the family member of a criminal. So why is she still being treated like this?
This is my home.
Then the 2 of them go upstairs. The captain has even prepared a bedroom specially for Ariana as a place for her to stay, but she cannot understand why he is being so kind to her. Tripp does not explain much, only telling her to live there with peace of mind. In truth, ever since that brief meeting at the ball, the man has fallen deeply in love with Ariana. Meanwhile, Gerhard, who escaped to Switzerland ahead of them, finds a hotel and stays there for the time being, but his father has been missing for a month. In this turbulent and unstable world, he seems to sense that his father has already been killed. Even worse, 2 weeks later, the boy is completely out of money. When the landlady asks him to pay for the room again, Gerhard can only confess the truth. Reality is cruel. Without money, he cannot continue staying there, but if he can work there as a waiter, the landlady will reconsider. She even asks the boy to stretch out his hands so she can see whether he can do physical work. Unfortunately, Gerhard grew up in an aristocratic family, so how could his hands have wrinkles and calluses? But to survive, the boy honestly says he can endure any hardship. Just like that, Gerhard goes from being a rich young master to a waiter, but when a person is handsome, romance seems to find him anywhere. The daughter of an art dealer keeps looking him over with playful eyes while dining. At the same time, her father across the table takes out a photo of a painting and asks his daughter to identify it, but the girl has no interest in it at all, only staring at the boy nearby. Even more unexpectedly, Gerhard actually recognizes the painting in the photo. After all, his father used to be a banker, and the things he was exposed to were far from ordinary. This makes the art dealer see him in a new light. Fate arrives so quietly, and the same fate begins to shift as well. In the days that follow, the girl staying at the hotel often finds chances to greet Gerhard. Their relationship also seems to grow closer and closer, and they even go out to the park together. It turns out the girl is French and has come to Switzerland on business with her father, and the two of them have similar pasts. Both of their mothers died when they were young. This gives them many things to talk about and speeds up the romance between them. After returning to the hotel, while her father has not yet come back, they dance in the room to music, until the two of them end up on the bed. As expected of a girl from a romantic country, her behavior is open and confident. The scene shifts, and while her younger brother is changing his fate, Ariana is also trying to create a warm atmosphere. The only problem is that she is terrible at cooking and makes a complete mess of herself. So the captain offers to cook instead, looking every bit like the perfect man at home. After dinner, the two of them should have returned to their own rooms, but the man cannot help himself. And before leaving, he kisses Ariana and confesses his love. Seeing no reaction from her, the man is about to leave in disappointment, only for Ariana to call him back, because in the woman's heart, she feels the same way. Just like that, on this night, they give themselves to each other. In the near future, the two even walk into the wedding hall. Although it is wartime, as a responsible man, Tripp wants to give Ariana the respect she deserves, but moments of happiness are always short. As the war enters its final stage, the Soviet army begins to push into Berlin. As a loyal German captain, Tripp ignores his wife's objections and resolutely goes to protect his homeland. After kissing Ariana goodbye, Tripp follows the car to the front line, and this farewell becomes the final goodbye of their brief fate together. In the days that follow, the sky over Berlin is bombed for 3 full days. When the shelling finally calms slightly, Ariana begins walking through the streets, but the entire city looks like a field of ruins. Soviet tanks have already entered Berlin. Clearly, the war is completely over, so Ariana wanders aimlessly, searching for any sign of her husband, and arrives near headquarters. She sees all the commanders raising their hands, becoming prisoners of the Soviet army, but Tripp is nowhere to be seen. Then the woman begins searching among the nearby bodies. Sure enough, she sees her husband in the pile of corpses. All the beautiful hopes she had been holding on to turn to ashes. Tripp has left her forever.
Oh, you said you would leave me. Oh, no.
Life comes with one tragedy after another. Heartbroken, Ariana tries to flee the city and search for her father and younger brother. After traveling for some time, she climbs onto a man's wagon, not realizing that danger is slowly approaching. Then the woman rides along with the wagon, trying to head toward the German border, but what she never expects is that while she is lying on the wagon resting halfway through, the man's hands begin to wander. The faint touch wakes the sleeping Ariana. Seeing the greedy look on his face, the woman instinctively tries to escape. Luckily, her husband had once given her a gun to protect herself against the dangers of this chaotic time. Unexpectedly, that gun truly comes in handy. After that, the woman runs to a crowded place, leans by the roadside, and cannot help crying, because her husband died not long ago, and she does not know whether her father and brother are alive or dead. Now, she only hopes to escape to Switzerland as soon as possible and search for traces of her family. But life is always full of strange coincidences. Ariana's younger brother is on this same escape route, traveling with his new girlfriend to France. The boy is kind-hearted, and when he sees refugees asking for food, he gives it to them without hesitation. At the same time, this makes him think of the sister he has been unable to contact for so long. He has no idea where Ariana is now, but fate loves to play tricks on people. In truth, Ariana is in the crowd not far away. Just like that, the siblings miss the chance to reunite, not knowing whether they will ever see each other again in this lifetime. Soon, evening arrives, A passing American military vehicle stops when it sees Ariana alone. An American soldier takes the initiative to greet her. After what happened last time, the woman cannot help being on guard. Even so, the soldier still wants to offer her help. At first, Ariana says nothing, only holding up her gun and staying alert. It is not until the other person is about to leave that she finally says the word Paris. Just like that, with the soldier's help, Ariana gets into the car and arrives at a relief home in Paris. Her husband once told her that if her life ever fell into trouble, the woman in charge here would help her, and that turns out to be true. The woman is a friend of Ariana's husband's mother. When she learns that Ariana has been separated from her family, she says she will use every possible channel to ask for news. But for now, Ariana should not worry too much, and should first eat enough and get proper rest. By another brand new morning, Ariana has recovered some strength after sleeping for 2 full days. Unfortunately, the director has not found any news about her father or younger brother. They seem to have disappeared from the world without a trace. Besides, this is still a turbulent period, and the director believes her family may have been killed long ago. But Ariana absolutely refuses to believe that possibility, because before leaving Berlin, her father told her they would escape to America. Maybe they have already arrived there by now, so Ariana also wants to go to America to search for them. This is the only hope she has left. Seeing how stubborn she is, the director agrees to her idea, but before she leaves, she must remove Ariana's German identity and forge a Jewish identity for her. She also gives Ariana a new name, Anna. This way, Ariana can leave the country safely, and in America, arrangements will also be made for Jewish refugees. So the director arranges for Ariana to travel with some aid doctors stationed in France and board a cargo ship back to America. One of the doctors, a man named Paul, shows Anna a friendly attitude.
God bless you, child.
After a heartfelt goodbye with the director, Anna officially begins the journey with the group. Whether her wish can come true seems impossible to know. Just like that, the cargo ship heading into the distance sets off. As one of the doctors returning on the same ship, Paul seems especially concerned about Ariana. Seeing the woman unable to eat, Paul decisively steps forward to comfort and care for her. Facts prove that when a person is beautiful, she has an advantage no matter where she goes, and the connection between the two of them becomes subtle in this moment. After several weeks at sea, they finally arrive in the longed-for city of New York.
You made it. So, to America.
After parting ways with Ariana, Paul meets his parents at the station after not seeing them for a long time. After 2 years apart, the joy of reunion is clearly beyond words. But what surprises Paul is that his fiancée has not come to meet him. His father smiles and says they will talk about it after they get home. But his mother cannot hold it back and tells him the truth right there. It turns out that during the 2 years he was in France providing aid, his fiancée feared something might happen and married someone else early. Since things have already turned out this way, Paul can only accept his fate, and this indirectly creates an opportunity for him and Ariana. However, after the exhausting journey, and with a high fever on top of it, the woman soon can no longer hold on. She suddenly collapses to the ground. When she wakes again, she is recovering in a relief home in New York. Because her German identity is not accepted, she can only pretend to be Jewish, trying to deceive the medical staff and receive help. At the same time, Paul, the doctor she met not long ago, takes the initiative to visit Ariana and shows great concern for her. Clearly, this man has fallen for her, and Ariana also acts like someone helpless in a strange place, trying to win his sympathy.
It's a whole new life. New country.
In fact, Ariana is about to be deported back to Germany because she has no sponsor here, and Paul, who has fallen for the woman at first sight, tries to persuade his powerful local parents to help this poor woman. So that night, while resting, the older couple discusses how they feel about the matter. After all, the war has already taken one son from them. Besides, Paul has also been abandoned by his fiancée, so they decide to do their best to satisfy any wish Paul wants to fulfill. Just like that, Ariana naturally gains a sponsor and no longer has to worry so much about deportation. The warm-hearted couple even invites Ariana to live with them. Such overwhelming good fortune leaves the woman feeling flattered and surprised. Just like that, Ariana moves into Paul's family villa. Paul's mother even personally brings her breakfast. This unexpected treatment seems to awaken Ariana's childhood memories, but now is not the time to let her thoughts wander. Recovering her health is the only thing the lady of the house hopes for. Meanwhile, Gerhard, Ariana's lost younger brother, is completing his wedding with the French girlfriend he met. He has truly become a son-in-law who marries into the family, but his father-in-law has never treated him like an outsider, even handing some of his own affairs over to him, until one day, while organizing acquired paintings, the father-in-law discovers a beautiful work and cannot help showing it off to his son-in-law. Gerhard's eyes instantly light up. He never expected that the keepsake his mother left to his sister would appear here. Back then, in order to save a loyal friend, Ariana had deliberately given this work to him. The purpose was that if life became difficult, he could sell this famous Jewish painting, and this makes the overwhelmed Gerhard regain hope of finding his sister.
Mama left two things to Ariana, a ring and this painting. It was Ariana's favorite.
The scene shifts, and after recovering, Ariana begins visiting registration offices across New York, trying to find out where her father and brother are, but no matter how hard she tries, she cannot find any record of her family entering the country. When the woman returns home, her face is full of worry. Luckily, she meets Paul, who cares about her. Paul keeps encouraging and supporting her, bringing Ariana a renewed hope for life in her dark world. So the two begin appearing together, eating at restaurants and dancing in the ballroom like lovers. When the mood grows intense, Paul cannot help asking whether she has ever loved someone before. Ariana does not hide it at all. Only, the person she once loved is already dead. Hearing such painful news makes Paul feel even more compassion for this poor woman. Because of this, he wants to give her a truly warm home. So after the date ends, he quietly goes to his parents' room and tells them his true feelings.
I'm gonna marry Anna.
What?
Marry Anna Golov.
This sudden news is hard for his mother to understand. After all, they have only known each other for a month and do not truly understand each other yet. But no matter how much his mother objects, Paul has made up his mind to marry Ariana. The mother and son even argue over it, but after Paul slams the door and leaves, his father expresses his approval, because his son is already an adult. Besides, he has been through the baptism of war, so the father tells his wife to interfere less in the matter. What they do not know is that Ariana is in the next room, holding her wedding photo with her former husband and grieving. At the same time, Paul knocks on the door. Clearly, on this romantic night, the man wants to tell her his true feelings and boldly propose to her. Ariana is somewhat at a loss. Besides, she has not yet moved on from her previous relationship. On top of that, she has hidden her German identity and is not the Jewish woman everyone believes she is. So it is very hard for her to accept Paul. But before Ariana can explain, Paul is overcome with emotion and kisses her. And this night becomes the beginning of their lifelong promise. Soon, everything suddenly changes. The next day, during a medical checkup, Ariana learns unexpected news from the doctor. The reason the woman has been feeling unwell lately is that she is pregnant, and already 2 months along. This news shocks Ariana deeply. After repeated confirmation, there is no mistake in the diagnosis. However, when the doctor asks, the woman does not hesitate at all and says the child was left by her husband in Germany. Perhaps she thinks the information will never be revealed, but her answer plants the seed for what comes next. Even when she is with Paul, she does not mention the pregnancy, trying to hide the truth forever. Then happiness arrives. Before long, she and Paul walk into the wedding hall. Because the groom's family is Jewish, the wedding follows Jewish tradition, but Ariana is not Jewish. So for now, she can only do as the locals do. Who knows what kind of scene it will be if her husband learns the truth. In the days that follow, the two begin a sweet life together. No matter where they are, they release the magic of love. Afterward, Ariana also announces the happy news of her pregnancy. Her mother-in-law even changes her previous attitude and cares for this beautiful daughter-in-law with great attention, preparing baby supplies ahead of time. But one day, her secret is discovered by her husband. It is a photo of his wife with another man, facing a string of questions from her husband. Ariana's long-buried memories seem to awaken. Her husband also realizes he was a little too rash just now, so he steps forward to comfort her. After all, they are already married, and there is no need to be too tangled up in the past. But Ariana cannot stop herself, perhaps because she feels guilty. She tells him everything about how her former husband saved and helped her, and her husband is a pure Jewish man. He hates Germans, especially German military officers who killed without blinking. Fortunately, his wife is also Jewish, but Ariana tells him the truth. Her husband is completely stunned. He never imagined that he had been deceived by this woman all along, but the situation goes far beyond that. In her grief and pain, Ariana admits the fact that she married that officer.
My God.
At this moment, Her husband feels as if his heart has gone dead, but then Ariana drops another bombshell. Even the child in her belly is not Paul's, but the bloodline left by her former husband before he died. After hearing this, Paul is struck like he has been hit by a hammer and turns straight back to his room. Now that things have reached this point, there is clearly no way to cleanly end it. The next day, rain keeps falling. A stranger comes to Paul's family home. Through many channels, the man has found Ariana's address. But now, Paul's mother is furious and forbids anyone connected to Ariana from visiting. After saying this, she tells the housekeeper to close the door, and the disappointed man standing before her is Max, the man once saved by Ariana's family. His benefactor is right there, but for now, he cannot meet her. After returning to the room, the woman begins discussing with her son how to deal with Ariana. The mother's attitude is firm. That woman not only deceived him, but also took advantage of their family's kindness, and even tried to pass the child off as Paul's. Most importantly, the child's father was a Nazi, so she tells Paul he must divorce Ariana. Later, the mother will handle everything properly, leaving Ariana plenty of money, enough for her to give birth safely. She will also buy Ariana an apartment so she can settle into life afterward, but the only condition is that her son must cut off all contact with that woman from now on. Although Paul still loves Ariana, reality leaves him no other choice. At this moment, the woman is already in tears. This is the second husband she has lost. Before long, Ariana gives birth, and today happens to be Christmas. The delivery room is filled with a sense of mercy. Under the doctor's caring questions, the woman finally names the healthy baby boy Noel. Meanwhile, after Paul's family completely cuts ties with Ariana, they finally give her address to Max, who had visited before. Then the man goes to the hospital according to the address and meets Ariana, the woman who once saved his life. After so many years apart, the two seem to have too much sorrow to tell. It has truly not been easy. Ever since the war ended, Max has been searching for Ariana, and he never expected to actually find her in New York. And now, it is time for the woman to hear some painful news. It turns out Max had been asking around near the Swiss border. Through many channels, he learned that Ariana's father died at the border, shot dead on the spot by German patrol soldiers. Fortunately, Ariana's younger brother did not die. He once worked at a hotel in Zurich. Unfortunately, this is all the information Max has. Indeed, when Ariana learns that her brother is still alive, she decides to give up her life in New York and return to Europe immediately to search for him, because he is the only family member she has left, and Max is willing to go with her. At this moment, the friendship between them seems, in a certain sense, to become something extraordinary. Just like that, not long afterward, they take a flight back to Zurich, Switzerland, and immediately go to the hotel where her brother once worked to ask for information. Unfortunately, they do not gain anything valuable. As time passes and the search in Switzerland leads nowhere, Max as Ariana's father's remains sent back to their old home in Berlin. At the same time, the two of them have no need to linger here and should first lay her old father to rest. Although the man before her is only a friend for now, everything he has done allows Ariana to feel his true sincerity. Just like that, they return to the place where they were born and bury her father in the family cemetery. Sadly, the original luxurious villa has now been taken over by the Soviets, so they can only find somewhere else. However, fate plays another trick on them. Not long after Ariana and Max leave, her younger brother Gerhard arrives at the long-lost family home with his wife and newborn child. How could he not miss his sister? This return is to revisit the memories of those years. At the same time, Gerhard tells his wife that he has left his contact information at every registration office. Once there is any news about his sister, he will be notified immediately. But when he goes to the cemetery to visit his mother, he is shocked to discover that his father's name has also been carved onto the gravestone. So his father had died long ago. But who could have done this? Somewhere in his heart, Gerhard seems to sense that his sister must still be alive. Time rushes by, and in the blink of an eye, 25 years pass. Today is the day of Ariana's son's college graduation ceremony. The young man has found a beautiful girlfriend at college and introduces her to his parents. However, what no one expects is that this girl is deeply connected to his family. Ariana never imagined that her son's college girlfriend would turn out to be the daughter of her former husband. The scene instantly becomes awkward. But for now, the two young people have no idea what is going on. After a silent atmosphere passes, the two adults can only greet each other politely. Then the girl invites the other family to have dinner together, but Ariana directly refuses, because she simply cannot face her former husband. And even more, She cannot reopen the wounds of the past. The brief meeting between the two sides ends hastily like this, but the boyfriend's mother's behavior makes the girl think she is not welcomed by her at all. The young man also senses his mother's coldness and immediately chases after her. The girl is Jewish, while the boy is German. The aftereffects left by the war more than 20 years ago make the girlfriend believe his mother still carries prejudice, so the two part unhappily after an argument. After that, the emotional young man goes to his mother and questions why she treated the girlfriend he knows this way. Could it really be because she is Jewish? At first, Ariana does not want to reveal the truth, but seeing her son so upset, she can only tell him what really happened. Fate is always mysterious. The bond the older generation could not continue has miraculously appeared in the next generation. After the girlfriend learns the truth, she praises Ariana as a brave woman. Even though her own father once hurt her, she still believes Ariana's life story is worthy of being written as an epic, and the love between the two young people does not seem shaken. Instead, their feelings grow even deeper. Sometime later, her husband accompanies Ariana on a flight to New York, because she is afraid her former husband's family will take their hatred out on her son Noel, so she wants to resolve the matter face to face. Then the woman knocks on the door of her former husband's office. After so many years, Ariana is still beautiful and moving, while Paul also seems kind. Completely different from his attitude back then. It seems he has already forgotten the pain of the past, but the one thing that has not changed is that he still loves this woman. Now, Paul's parents have both passed away. As for Ariana's fear that the children are repeating the past, Paul believes that is not the case. He is even less willing to interfere too much. If they truly love each other, he will not stop them from being together. But Ariana is still worried. What a beautiful ending. The scar buried in both their hearts is miraculously healed through the unexpected marriage of the next generation. It seems all of this is destined, so the wedding of the two young people is about to take place. On this incredibly happy day, Ariana personally places the ring her father left her onto her daughter-in-law's hand. It symbolizes the inheritance of the next generation, and also the eternal passing down of family love. Just like that, Noel and his wife's wedding is finally completed with blessings from both families. Paul looks at Ariana across from him, his heart seemingly filled with endless emotion. In the days that follow, the young couple begins their travel plans. Their first stop is the romantic city of Paris. However, things are always unexpected. Inside a shop, they stand for a long time before a painting, unwilling to leave, because this Renoir painting is simply too beautiful. Sadly, the painting is not for sale, and the staff member beside them explains that the painting is a family heirloom, with great meaning to his father's generation. At the same time, the conversation among the three catches the shopkeeper's attention. The moment both sides politely shake hands, the man unexpectedly notices the emerald ring on the girl's hand. This sends waves through his heart, so he asks the girl to take off the ring so he can examine it carefully. After a full 30 years, Gerhard has finally found his sister. What an unimaginable feeling this must be. The pain of family that could never be let go finally receives an answer in this moment. Another Christmas arrives. While Ariana prepares decorations, she is also waiting for her son and his wife to come home for a reunion. But as she touches Gerhard's childhood toy, what fills her most is longing for her younger brother. She does not know where Gerhard is now, or whether he is still alive in this world. Just then, her son finally returns home with his wife, interrupting Ariana's immersed emotions. At the same time, the young couple has also brought a gift for their mother. It is the keepsake Ariana's mother left her, and also her most precious memory. Just as the woman becomes confused by this, her younger brother Gerhard appears. At this point, the whole story comes to an end. This series is adapted from Danielle Steele's novel of the same name, using World War II as a mirror to reveal the light and darkness of human nature under extreme circumstances. Hatred can tear families apart, but love and forgiveness will eventually heal the wounds. Hatred can tear families apart, but love and forgiveness will eventually heal the wounds. The opposition of identity and position is not impossible to overcome. Understanding and acceptance are the true path to redemption. Ariana's life warns the world that there are no winners in war. Only by letting go of prejudice can the cycle of hatred finally end. Family inheritance is not only the continuation of material things, but also the living flow of spirit and memory. The ring symbolizes not only aristocratic glory, but also the defense of human dignity. No matter how much suffering we endure, courage and hope are always worth passing on. This epic reminds us that the scars of history must be faced directly, but the meaning of life lies in rising beyond trauma. rebuilding connection from what is broken, and letting love become a power that crosses generations. Alright, that is only my personal understanding of this series and the novel. I am a movie lover, and I will see you in the next episode.